Welcome and thank you for joining the initial sign-in step for MyRepChat users. For the next few minutes, I'm going to walk through what I think are some of the most important first steps when logging into MyRepChat for the very first time. So I've recently created this account and I'm going to log in for the very first time. My login is my email address and then of course my password. And upon logging in for the very first time, you're going to be asked to set up either a mobile number or an email address for the purposes of multi-factor authentication. You may be familiar with this feature with other tools that you use. This is a very important step to maintain security. So for the sake of this, I'm going to use my cell phone number. Again, don't put your MyRepChat number in here because you have to be able to get the message to get the code to log into MyRepChat. So I've just been texted a code and I'm going to add that now. And here we are. So the first thing I'd encourage you to do is make sure you write down the MyRepChat number in the top right. You will always be able to reference this in the mobile app. It'll always be up here in the very top right, but it's like any new number out there. The first few times you need to use it, it's tough to remember. So try to write this down, use it a few times so you can build it in your memory bank. The second thing I would encourage you to do is go over here to the gear. The last step in the setup process was creating and setting up your virtual business card. Here is where I can go to see the virtual business card. And if I ever needed to make any edits to it, this is where I can do that. I didn't put a photo in when I made the setup process, but again, if you did, this is where you can edit it. If you did not, like I didn't, you can also add it here. If you sign up under a group administrator, meaning you sign up underneath a company account, this archiving tab may or may not be here. If you sign up as an independent user, the archiving tab might be here to allow you to establish your archiving relationships. There's many integrations that we have with different firms for archiving purposes. If there's one that you don't see here, please let us know. Send a quick email to support@ionlake.com, or you can always call our toll-free number 844-402-2401 and let us know. Chances are we either have it and it's not available for you to set it up as an independent person. We have to set it up on our end, or if we don't, we can certainly go out and try to find that integration. The next step is contacts. Obviously, we need to have contacts in the system to be able to send and receive text messages. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is actually add yourself manually. Just like anything else that we do, it's always best to test it on ourselves first. So I want you to see how this process works. I'm going to send myself a message, but first I need to add myself to the system. I'm going to add my phone number. This is the number to use for texting or for messaging. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to save the contact. And there it is right there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump over to the message. I'm going to create a quick message to John Doe. And I'm going to send that message. Okay. Now I have my cell phone in front of me and I'm going to go ahead and respond to this message just so you can see the response as it comes back into the system. So very important to understand. I want to know that messages going out, messages coming in are also happening. The one thing you didn't see because my computer already had the settings saved is generally on the very first time you log in, you're asked if you would like to receive notifications on the computer. Please make sure you check yes. If you didn't, you can always clear your cache and you'll get asked to do the exact same thing. The one thing I will let you know as well is if you're signing up under a group administrator, there are provisions and rules that the group administrator can put in place that will prevent you from sending a text message upon logging in for the very first time. If you attempt to send a message like I just did, and you get a notification that says you don't have the ability or the permissions to send a message, contact your administrator and let them know because they simply need to review your account and make sure that it's approved and they can change your account status to active. So again, if you try to send yourself a message first and it doesn't work, just look at the note that you'll generally receive on the bottom right. It'll let you know what reason there might be for that message not going out, whether it's a bad phone number or in most cases, it's just a setting that the administrator put on the account to ensure somebody doesn't log in and start texting before they have the ability to approve it. Some companies do that, some don't. So here we go. We know it works. The second step, I'm going to go back to the Contacts tab. And again, you could always add groups. So if I wanted to add groups and put myself into that group, I can certainly do that. But what I want to do here is I want to add contacts. And the most important thing for most users within MyRepChat is our CRM integrations. So the great thing here is regardless of what CRM integration you select, I'm going to pick SmartOffice for this example, scroll all the way down and we will give you the instructions on how to set your account up. Very simple, very easy to follow. If you have any questions, you can always let us know, or you can always use the support tab. But follow the instructions and you'll, in this example, be prompted to put a token in. Once you've done that, you've effectively connected your MyRepChat account with your CRM. Using the Get Contacts button allows you to pull your contacts over from the CRM. Now, you don't have to pull everybody over, and I strongly encourage you, don't simply select everybody and bring them all in. It's very important that you only have people in the system that you're actually going to be communicating with at some point. Bringing in 1,000 people probably isn't the right thing to do. You certainly could, but it's probably not the right thing to do. And in fact, I'm going to show you another feature that might actually make that a little bit stronger of a point. So once you've pulled in the contacts, let's say I pull in 100 contacts, I've made the connection between the two. The next step is going to be activating notes. Very important to do here. If I activate the notes, what that means is as long as these contacts are connected with the CRM, so as long as in this example, if John Doe was also in my CRM and they get connected, what the activate notes means is that as I'm texting back and forth with this particular client, that text conversation will automatically flow back to the CRM to get stored in the notes. That flow of communication will happen in real time. And if you prefer for it not to happen in real time, you prefer for it maybe to send a summary at the end of the day, you can turn off real-time notes. And then what we will do is from midnight in the morning till midnight in the evening, we will capture all the messages to and from, send them over to the CRM first thing in the morning. And so you'll only have one note entry in the CRM, time and date stamped, of course. But again, it's only one entry instead of separate entries for every message. So just know that that is an available feature. Smart messages, very helpful. You can schedule messages, and this is a great place for you to do a lot of different things. This is where I can see all my scheduled messages. So if I have scheduled messages to individuals or if I have scheduled messages to group, I would see little bullets here on the day that they're scheduled to go out. I would also see the message preview here on the left. I can create those scheduled messages directly from here as well. I can create templates. So I think an easy template to create, I'm going to save as a message template, meeting confirm. And a little trick is this. This will allow the system to automatically pull in the first name of the contact. Again, if I wanted to pull in the last name, I could do the same thing and put L name. Very easy template that you can use. And this is one you'll probably find yourself using quite a bit. Whether or not you want to use the first and last name is up to you. Most of the templates that I create, I only use the first name because that's more personal, but I wanted to show you that you can do the same thing. So very easy. I have a template created. An auto response. This is extremely helpful. I have no auto responses in here right now, but I want to create an auto response. So if you recall, just a minute ago, I told you don't import all of your contacts from the CRM. I know it might be the easiest thing to do, but generally don't. I would encourage you not to do that. Rather, do this step. The great thing about MyRepChat is you can now start letting everybody know that you can accept text messages, and here is the number you can text me on. Now, the great news is there might be people out there that you would not think are going to text you. Whether they're a client, whether they're a prospect, it doesn't make any difference. If you think to yourself, I don't know if these people may or may not text me, the great thing is, here's a great auto response in anticipation of that. If I have an incoming text from an unknown number, I leave it blank, and then the message is something similar to this, because that's the first thing I'm going to do anyway, whether it's on a personal text message or a business text message, if I have an inbound message from a number that I don't have saved. So you can tweak that language if you'd like to make it comfortable for you, but that's a great first auto response to have in the system. So if I go over here to my messaging tab, I can see all the messages here. Everything should be set up for me already. I've tested, I know that it works. I can go down here and see any images that I might have or media files. I don't have any, but I certainly could add some. If I go back here, I'll see the template. I have one template that I've created, and I can certainly populate this in the system, and I can hit send. I can schedule that too. If I populate it into the system, maybe I want to schedule this exact message later on down the road, and it's only a one-time frequency, so I can schedule that message. Now the great news is if I go back here to the scheduled message feature, there it is. Emojis are here as well. My virtual business card is also right here. If I wanted to send to this particular person my virtual business card to get my updated contact information into their phone, this is a great way of doing that. And last thing I'll highlight is just the details up here. Scroll down, you'll see the number that's in there. You'll see the group that they're assigned to, which is extremely important. And then of course you'll see the activity. One message out, one message back, but this is where I could see that information. So hopefully this gives you a good understanding of the initial steps that you might be able to take upon logging into MyRapChat for the very first time. There's lots of features and lots of customization that you can do to make it more custom to you and how you want to operate and how you want to run your practice. By all means, what I showed you today doesn't represent any limitations within the tool, but I wanted you to again, understand some of the basic things that you can do upon logging in for the first time. Thank you again, and if you have any questions whatsoever, the support tab is always here on the right. Our contact information is there, a brief demo, and then we also have many, many self-help guides published out online as well. Thank you.